China is one of the 12 mega-diverse countries in the world, and the 8th richest country in the world in terms of its total known biodiversity, hosting over 10% of the world's known species. China owes its rich biodiversity to its large size, great physical range of conditions, and the fact that it contains ancient centers of evolution and dispersion. Since 1949, and especially from the 1980s to now, China has gradually committed to biodiversity conservation. Although it has achieved good progress, China has also experienced some serious failures. In China today, there are 1,865 areas classified as national parks based on the IUCN guidelines for protected area management categories. One of China's most prominent protected areas is the Wolong Nature Reserve, located in Sichuan Province in southwestern China. The Wolong Reserve is the largest protected area designed for the conservation of endangered giant pandas, containing approximately 10% of the global wild panda population. The reserve was established in 1963, covers an area of 2,000 square kilometers, and was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2006. Wolong is a flagship reserve in China and has received exceptional financial and technical support from the Chinese government and many international organizations, such as the World Wildlife Fund. People living in and around protected areas such as Wolong have important and long-standing relationships with these areas. Their needs, aspirations, and attitudes should be considered in protected area management. Unfortunately, this hasn't been the case in China. Because of China's top-down management style, local people's benefits from the reserves have been marginalized, and little attention has been paid to the role of local participation in protected area planning, management, and decision-making. Within Wolong, there are 1,097 households with a population of more than 4,000 people, data recorded in 2002. Local people in the area depend mainly on traditional agriculture for subsistence. Maize, potato, and cabbage are the main crops farmed within the reserve, with cabbage being the main source of income. In a study conducted, local people's perceptions of the Wolong Reserve were identified. They identified that the local people's perceptions of the reserve were affected by a number of factors, including education, gender, residence location, household size, and acreage of land owned. Most respondents, although having a generally positive attitude towards the reserve, had little knowledge about it, due to their absence in its management scheme. In an effort to increase the forest cover in a number of protected areas, the People's Congress of China passed a law implementing the National Forest Coverage Program in 2001. This program was complemented by the National Grain to Green policy introduced the next year, which aimed to restore hillside agricultural lands into forest or grasslands. Although this was an important step in making Wolong an effective reserve, the top priority at Wolong is the giant panda captive breeding and research station, not habitat protection and restoration. To a large extent, Wolong's ecological fate represents the success or failure of tremendous conservation efforts made by the Chinese government and many other organizations. Although the Wolong Nature Reserve is effective in nature conservation, particularly the conservation of giant pandas, the overall function of the reserve is not so effective. The conservation effort in Wolong has helped with the ongoing recovery of the giant panda, which has downgraded from endangered to threatened in September of 2016. However, a greater focus needs to be placed on people living within the reserve and their effect on the environment around them. More support in finance, policy, technology, and education is needed to build the capacity of local people in conservation and development. Local participation is essential for the future planning and management of the reserve.